Right. Hi, I'm Adam Kunzmiller with RPG Geek here at Gen Con 2013. And I'm here with Jay Sparks and Sparks Games. And he's here to talk to us about an exciting, cool little deck called Tau. Jay, why don't you tell us a little bit about this?
Tau is kind of built for that in-between time. It's a quick change of pace game that is made for when somebody abandons your role-playing group for a few minutes to get beer and pizza, and you can't be playing the game you want to be playing, so you decide to play something else. It's a quick narrative, role-playing, storytelling type game, very open-ended, very rules-light, no dice, no mechanics, no character sheets, which, why am I sitting here on role-playing day, right? If there's none of that there.
Right.
It's totally narrative, storytelling driven. You have a storyteller at your table who's going to put you in a situation and try to kill you all indiscriminately and quickly in about 15 to 20 minutes. You have cards on your side to help you beat this kind of nebulous character that you're building and try to advance your narrative of survival. So the DM might put you in a situation where you're in a chain or in a cage suspended from a chain in the darkness. Strange noises are coming, things are coming, you can hear wings flapping and things screeching. You might have invisibility, so you turn your character invisible. Sounds like a good idea to me.
Sure.
Cards like Wild Card, if I could happen to come across it. There's a joker. Things like Wild Card, which lets you reach into the discard pile and suddenly remember that you can do something else. You suddenly remember that you can dominate people. So you're going to dominate people and control some sort of monster. It's really open-ended. It gets really silly. You can take it in a lot of different directions. These cards, while they were fantasy-oriented at the beginning,
Sure.
We've play tested and run demos for pirates, ninjas, western, hard sci-fi, modern day. We did one on the 17th floor of an office building at 4:59 on a Friday. First person out of the lobby and start their weekend wins the game. So it's been really great. It's a really open-ended, storytelling, narrative-driven game, and you have a lot of fun with it.
Now, since we're on Role Playing Geek here,
Okay.
Why don't you talk a little bit about how, separate from the game you just mentioned, you might use these cards as a resource in your toolkit?
Oh man, oh yeah, this is really great. So if you're running a one-shot NPC kind of thing and you need an NPC on the fly, you hate that. Your characters go down the alley, you never want them to go down, you have to come up with an NPC on the fly. You throw down 3 cards just like that. Hey, there's the wild card I was looking for. Let's flip that out with something else. Okay, so you have you need an NPC on the fly. You have a very, very brawny cleric who's sitting by the side of the road trying to learn how to cast a cantrip. And so I would never come up with that. Why would you have a burly war priest sitting there learning how to cast Prestidigitation on the side of the road? I don't know why you would have that, but you're in a pinch, 3 seconds, 3 cards, and you have an interesting character, interesting hook. And it's just, like I said, toolkit. It's a Swiss Army knife toolkit you can throw in your bag. You find yourself reaching for it more often than not. If you're playing our game, that's great. We're excited you play your game. But more often than not, for other reasons, you'll find yourself using this to help out your gaming experience.
And I notice some of these cards have these little symbols on the bottom, right? Is that any sort of meaningful distinction here?
They are usages in our game.
Okay.
Some of these are so powerful they're usable only once ever. Once you use it, it's kind of spent. Some of them are used once only ever, unless you can convince the DM that it's part of your character and part of the narrative and you get to work it in. There's a little barter kind of, booty kissing going on there.
Sure.
Some of them are per challenge. Every time you kind of overcome a challenge, move on to the next thing, you can have it again. And then anything like loot, any of the weapons or anything like that are permanent. So they would exist in the game as is.
Excellent.
Yeah, and so the game is really free form, and we want people to use it for other things. Dig into it, see what happens, try it with other things. Use maybe somehow use these with
the numbers. Sure.
We haven't gotten that far with it yet, but we've been so busy trying to produce it and market it that we've gotten away from it a little bit. It's been refreshing to get to Gen Con and actually see it in use again and run demos and see how people respond to it.
And it seems like this would lend itself really well to like the Fate system, for example, and coming up with
Yes, definitely. Something that where it's not so numbers heavy. You're just looking for result-oriented kind of things, yeses and nos, and this would definitely work into that.
All right, and if people are interested, where can they go to get this if they're not at Gen Con right now?
We have a website, sparksgames.com. We will have our electronic store open as soon as we get home from Gen Con. So e-commerce will be up. MSRP is $15. We're trying to make it an expensive thing
Sure.
you just throw in your bag and not a purchase you have to belabor over or worry about. Something you can pick up and use.
All right, great. Well, that sounds really cool.
Great.
So once again, this was Jay Sparks with Tau. Oh, a question.
Tau is in the Greek symbolism of their character alphabet. Tau is the symbol for rebirth and death, the cyclical nature of life and rebirth and death. And because of these characters coming and going so quickly, then that's what you're looking for. The game where everybody dies.